Some $7 billion is being spent on ads that are never shown to a human being. This crime, because it's so profitable, has attracted some of the smartest black hats in the world.
We are up against a highly motivated, highly adaptable adversary.
As the industry has shifted away from purely paying or billing on an impression served to something more like a viewable impression or some other type of media metric, the bots are starting to mimic that type of behavior.
We need to constantly stay vigilant to make sure that we're protecting the integrity of the marketplace.
The way that fraud functions in this marketplace is that it's pulled in by supply-side players who are not seeing enough visitors or users.
If you're a buyer and you can't easily differentiate between high-quality inventory and low-quality inventory, the natural thing you would do is bid a blended average. Doing so, you're undercompensating the good inventory and overcompensating the bad inventory, which eventually leads to market failure. What our core job is on the marketplace quality team is to ensure that that doesn't happen, that we prevent adverse selection, and we keep a vibrant and open marketplace.
We believe that the fight against fraud is both a buy-side and a sell-side problem to solve. We certainly encourage our DSP partners to take proactive measures in preventing fraud from their buys. We also commend the sell side for taking proactive measures in terms of making sure that their networks and their supply sources are clean before sending that out to bid on their demand partners.
We view our inventory suppliers as partners, and in the spirit of that partnership, we strive to educate and inform them about the various nuances of traffic quality and fraud in the digital advertising ecosystem.
When the standards are as high as possible, those who already are hitting the highest level of quality stand to win big.
Having access to fraud data and the traffic quality data has given us a lot of insight into which sorts of partners perform well and which types of publishers are riskier.
We don't treat this like a measurement problem. We treat it like a security problem. We trace fraud problems to their root cause.
If there is an incentive for these people to make money, then fraud will continue to exist. The more we disincentivize them, the more likelihood is that they'll go and try and commit crimes elsewhere.
When we first saw the networks that were perpetrating fraud pop up, they were actually promising 100% video completion.
The rate of growth in spending in digital video is still extraordinarily high, and it doesn't match the rate of growth of the supply. As spending has doubled, none of us are feeling like they're seeing twice as many video ads. In video in particular, this is unfortunately been getting worse, not better, just because of the economic pressures.
What's really interesting about focusing on things like viewability and video completion rates is you end up not focusing on the things that we're actually interested in achieving by advertising, which is like changing people's behavior. And as a result of that, we end up stifling innovation.
The good thing about time-based advertising is I think that it can really close a gap between using programmatic to actually put messages in front of users and informing a brand what messages really resonate with which types of users. There's not a tight connectivity between the creative agency that's coming up with these images or videos and the actual results that are happening. And time-based advertising, I think, gives a new way to feed information back to the creative agency about which creatives are working and why. So it's a deeper metric than just basic click-through rate.
In an ideal world, I like to think everyone that I operate with is on the up and up, and that they're doing the things that are best for all of the customers and everyone along the chain in advertising. The reality is we all need to create incentives and bonus people based off those incentives along the way. So we make sure that the vendors like us are doing things that are in line with the agencies and the brand incentives. And the only way to do that is start to measure the correct things.
There are a number of things as an industry we can focus on. Certainly the technology to prevent it from happening is one that we're already focused on.
My advice is to not accept vague discrepancies that can't be connected to the true root cause of fraud.
I'd say the greatest benefit to finally rooting out fraud will be that marketers at the end of the day will really be able to know what's going on. That these interactions, these digital interactions we see all over the place with our brands are really happening with real humans.
The most important lesson to be learned looking at other industries with fraud problems is that this one in digital advertising can be shrunk 100-fold.
The perpetrators of fraud are constantly adjusting their tactics to evade detection and mitigation.
Winning this game is not just about what tools you bring to it, but what tools you bring to it tomorrow and the next day.
We've built a team of cross-functional experts, data scientists, engineers.
Having that in-house team of expertise allows us to be nimble and rapidly adjust to emerging threats.
Our job is to make sure that all participants in the marketplace can benefit from a fair and transparent exchange.